Yo, what's going on? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you. Smash that like button, get your thoughts in, of course, in the comment section about what we're discussing here today, which is Manchester United keep or sell. And this isn't for the January transfer window. Obviously, Ruben Amorim's just come in. He's got to try and get rid of a couple of melters in January, i.e. Rashford, Casemiro, possibly. Who knows if we're going to be able to get rid of anybody? Probably not. But we've got to try and get a couple in January, of course. But this is sort of obviously for January, but also for the summer as well, like long term. Like, who should we actually keep? Who should we sell from this current squad of absolute melters? We're ending 2024 with Manchester United in the position where we are 14th in the league, minus 5 goal difference in an absolute period of turmoil. It's a nightmare. So obviously lots of changes needed. Erik ten Hag, the previous manager, spent £600 million plus on his set of players that he wanted and nobody else wanted. And we're left with, well, let's face it, a bunch of underperforming melts. So we're going to get into it in this video, give you my thoughts on who we should keep, who we should sell. Get yours down in the comment section below and let us know which players you would keep and which players you would sell, maybe which players you're uncertain about as well. Get your thoughts and opinions in there down below, guys, and play along. But before we do that, let me introduce you to Flexispot. Introducing the Flexispot XC6, a very comfortable chair with full body support, spacious seats with ergonomic support for various seating positions, along with very generously padded armrests. The XC6 has a maximum load capacity of up to 159 kilograms, so even somebody like me can sit in a chair like this and recline in comfort. Perfect for anyone looking to relax, the gentle rocking motion makes a great choice for soothing moments. This chair is ideal for reading, watching TV, napping, and they adapt smoothly to your relaxation needs. I myself have fallen asleep in this chair, it's so comfortable. There's also hidden storage. It features discreet storage to help keep living spaces tidy. And the thing I love the most is the adjustable recline. The XC6 has a 145-degree manual recline. Hi, it's the Flying Pig here. When I'm not streaming or when I'm trying to relax after a stream, I like to sit in a nice, comfortable chair, such as this Flexispot Lotus XC6. Oh!
This chair is so comfortable. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Hey Amelia, what do you think of the Flexispot Lotus XC6?
I'm about to go to sleep in it. It's so comfortable. Go away.
Oh, wow, we fell asleep.
Oh, we did.
God, this is the most comfortable chair ever.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Shout out to Flexispot for sending me this chair. It really is a very comfortable chair. I could only recommend it, guys. Comes in a whole host of colours. And right now there is a Christmas sale on where you can get £150 off. So check out the link in the description or pinned to the top of the live chat and big up Flexispot. Okay, guys, so let's just start where we're at here. You know, we got the top left here. Let's go with that, guys. Let's just start there. So keep or sell. This is long term, as I say. Hopefully we shall be a much better side, just even if we kept all these players with time, because Amorim's system and everything needs to take effect. He's sticking to his guns, and rightly so in my opinion. We need to change. Amad Diallo has been a breath of fresh air, hasn't he, since he's been selected in the side. He was good for Ten Hag towards the end of last season. Don't know why Ten Hag stopped playing him. He also was never really given the opportunities under Ten Hag. Yet he's flourished under Amorim since Amorim's come in. His effort levels are next level. I mean, it's an easy one, this one. I think most of us will agree that Amad Diallo's looked good this season, and he's still young to develop, and he works very hard, and even in the games where he doesn't necessarily perform immensely, he still absolutely gives it his all, and that's all we can really ask for. So Amad Diallo is a definite keeper for me. We'll definitely keep Amad Diallo, and we'll start off with a positive there. Now on to a negative. Anthony Dos Castos. I don't even really need to talk about this one, do I? £85 million down the drain. Ten Hag's golden child. Turned out to be absolutely awful for us, to be fair. Very one-dimensional, 360-degree fidget spinner of a man. Absolute nightmare player to spend that amount of money on and have such a failure of a career at the club. It really has been pathetic. So, you know, it's easy for me. He's got to go in the sell pile there, guys, and I don't know how much money we could get for him. Probably be lucky to get 20 million quid at this moment in time. And bear in mind, we did pay closer to 85 million for this guy. Goes to show you what an absolute failure and a loss and a terrible decision it was by Ten Hag, and obviously the United regime there as well, to making the decisions to sign this guy, to actually bring him in. He's melted big time, hasn't he, since he's come into this football club, even given all of those chances, unnecessarily so, over the likes of Ahmad Diallo and Pellistri, etc. last season, by his boss Ten Hag. He's still failed big time, so he's got to be sold. Can we get rid of him? That's another question. Probably not. Who wants him? See you later on, Anthony Dos Gastos. Right, Bayender next up, folks. Obviously, we've only seen a couple of games from Bayender. What is the point of even judging Bayender? I mean, do we want him long term? I mean, I'm just going to put him in the keep pile right now because we just haven't really seen enough. He probably won't want to stay. He'll probably get disheartened with the lack of chances and Andre Onana being ahead of him in the squad and melting, so he probably won't want to stay. But if he does, then he can be a backup goalkeeper, or maybe given chances might be able to flourish. Who knows? He's a good young keeper with a career ahead of him. Lots could happen in his career. He might end up being just a backup Raymond van der Gaal type, or maybe he'll be like a Sergio Romero, excellent backup goalkeeper for us, or maybe he'll go on and take the number one spot long term. But I certainly would give him chances right now. There's no point getting rid of him at the moment. We need to sell Andre Onana. I'll just put him right in there right now, guys. Andre Onana. Oh, wrong section there. Steady on. Andre Onana has to go in the sell section, doesn't he? We're just dealing with the keepers here because we've just mentioned Bayender. I guess Bayender can stay. Andre Onana, on the other hand, time to go. Mr. Flappy Bird, Flubberhand himself, has made too many errors recently. The last 4 or 5 games, you've seen consistent howlers from our number one. And we paid 50 million quid for this guy as well. Another signing from Erik Ten Hag. You know my thoughts on the whole Erik Ten Hag, David De Gea situation. Such a mistake, getting rid of David De Gea and getting this guy in for 50 million quid. We could have just given David a new contract. That would have freed up essentially 50 million quid or nearly, after agents' fees and sign-on fees and things like that, to be able to go and sign other players in other positions in the outfield and be able to strengthen elsewhere. Ten Hag had an absolute double daymare in regards to David De Gea and Andre Onana and bringing him in, and now we're left to pick up the pieces. He's absolutely awful, guys. I'm sorry to say, we've given him chances. He was decently solid at the start of the season, but he's just too error-prone, and he's never going to be that number one for us that we can consistently rely on, I don't think. He's actually somebody I'd be trying to get rid of in January if I was Ruben Amorim, to bring in somebody else in terms of a goalkeeper to replace him. He's that important, that necessary right now to replace, in my opinion. I don't think we will, but if it was down to me, I'd be getting him gone in Jan and trying to get a proper keeper in. So he's definitely in the sell pile. Bruno Fernandes. Oh my goodness me. Bruno Fernandes, this is a really tough one actually, because there's been times in the past where this guy's been quality. He is a class player. He's good for Portugal. He does the business in 50% of the games, I'd say. Maybe less than that recently because he has been very inconsistent and poor. I don't think he's a great captain. I don't think he's a great leader. I think he's a bit of a moaner. I think he's a bit of a whiner. But can you really doubt his footballing ability? He is quality at times. That's the issue here with Bruno Fernandes. You know, I thought I was going to put him in the sell pile here, because, well, he's on big money. Does he really live up to it? I don't know. Maybe he's just developing and adapting in this new system here, and it's going to take a little bit of time, and he has got a whole set of players around him, which are absolute melters. I still think Bruno Fernandes would be coveted and wanted by a lot of the top teams in Europe, in all fairness, if he was made available tomorrow for the right price. So, maybe it goes against my sort of recent formula of keeping and selling players based on recent performances and wages and what they actually put into the side. I don't think he's captain material for us, but I'm actually going to say keep. I think Bruno could flourish in the right team. I think he's a quality player. Yes, okay, his passing can be erratic. He can give the ball away more than anyone in the team at times. And he's got some judgment issues in regards to like getting sent off the other day poorly, leading us as captain very poorly, stuff like that. Maybe not the captain, but if we can get a proper leader in the team who might be able to take over that mantle, then I think Bruno Fernandes could be an asset. So I'm going to say keep. It's a bit of a controversial one, that, because, he's not been great, but I would keep him just based on his talent alone. Casemiro. Let's go over to Casemiro now. No doubt he's a Brazilian legend. What he did previously at Real Madrid, undeniable. And his first season at United was very good. I mean, he's laughing all the way to the bank, this guy. We gave him a ridiculous contract. That was a desperation signing by us as well. We paid huge money for Cassie at the tail end of his career when he's old for a quick fix, which was only a season fix, and then now it's gone down the shitter. So, you see people like Mainu and Ugarte and these guys coming through. well, Casemiro doesn't really fit in this system anyway under Amorim, not from what we've seen so far. So it's an easy one for me. I don't know who would want him. Maybe a club in Saudi Arabia could afford him. You have to remember that Casemiro is on huge, big money at this football club, and he could just chill until the end of his contract and receive 300, 400k a week. He's loving it. Will a Saudi club be prepared to pay him? I think they would. I think they would be prepared to pay him that because he's a big star and he is a quality player still in the right sort of league and team. Maybe his heyday at the top level is gone. I think that's clear. Certainly in this new system and this future project that we're trying to go through here, I think he's probably ran his race. But for the right team somewhere, Saudi, big money, maybe they could take him off of our hands in January. I think he's one of the realistic players that we could move on in January. There's not that many we could sell, but I think he's one of them. So I'll pop him in the sell pile. Thanks for that first season, Cassie. And he's a professional and everything, but ultimately he's not really got that much of a place in the team. Him and Eriksen yesterday were awful together in that midfield. Let me just go over to Christian Eriksen as well. I mean, this isn't an impending sale for me, but I am just going to put him straight in there in the sell section. Thanks for your service. Good signing. Got him for peanuts. Literally has been decent squad player for us. That's all he's ever been. Fantastic that he's still playing the game after those health issues he had and everything. Love the guy. Fair play to him. Great passer. Great set pieces. You know, he's a very talented baller. He was very good for Denmark in the Euros. He's still got something to offer, but at the end of this season, I think it's time we just let him go, you know, because what are we really going to achieve by having Eriksen in the team long term? He's old now. He's getting on. You saw the performance yesterday. Didn't really do the business for us at all. So thanks for your service, Christian, but time to move on, I think, in the summer. Let's get on to Diogo Dalot then. Well, I think we've just got to put him in the keep section. Maybe not as a left back. He's been playing over on the left wing back spot at the moment, and obviously we've got Mazraoui playing right wing back. I think Dalot gives us depth in terms of the squad. I think he'd probably be playing behind Mazraoui. If it's down to me, he would be playing the right wing back up to Mazraoui, if it's down to me, because he's good. He gives you something going forward. You know, he's got the legs. He's got a bit of height about him. He's not awful. I think with a back three behind him, if it's a system that we can actually implement well with the right defenders, he'll probably be all right, because I don't think defending is necessarily his forte. But if he's got three defenders essentially always back, he can go forward, he can create and that sort of thing, and he can even score a goal. He scored a few goals for us, important ones as well. So I would keep Diogo Dalot. I don't think he's a sensational player. He's not an Irwin, he's not a Patrice Evra, he's not going to go down as a Gary Neville or a Paul Parker or something like that, but he's a good player. He's a decent player, and he's always given it his all really for us. Not always good for us. He has been asked to play out of position at times as well. He's getting more comfortable in this system, but it's slow baby steps in that regard. So I would keep Diogo Dalot around. Matthias de Ligt. Well, Matthias de Ligt has only just come in. It would be foolish to say so. So we're just going to put him in the keep section there, obviously, because, well, he's a big money signing. He's looked good so far. One of Ten Hag's final sort of signings, obviously, and he's a big player at the right age. He's getting better. Or at least he should be, because he's young. He's only 24, 25. He's still got the best years ahead of him as a defender. So I think that was a good sign, and I think he will prove to be good for us. Obviously, the team's not doing well. We're trying to transition into this new style, but I think he will be good for us. So I'm going to say keep. Johnny Evans is a legend at this football club as far as I'm concerned, for coming back and being so professional and still being good. He's still a good squad player, but obviously, you know, come the summertime, we've got to part ways really with Jonathan Evans. Good luck to you. What a legend. But come on, it sets the wrong precedent, doesn't it, really, to be having players like that who are over the hill still in the squad. We've kind of got to just cut loose Jonathan Evans in the summer. Good luck to you, absolute legend though. Thank you very much for being here. Remember, he's the only person in here who's actually won Premier League titles and stuff at United. He's still around, so he's still doing bits. Alejandro Garnacho. Now this is a bit of a tough one, isn't it? A lot of people have gone off Alejandro Garnacho recently. His performances have been sus. His head's gone. He's a bit of a baby, crying out there and stuff. You know, has he got the bottle really to be a Manchester United player? Can he live up to the pressure? Is he prepared to develop and grow as a player and add those facets to his game, i.e. the ability to actually pick out the right pass at the right time? And, you know, the finishing's been suspect from him lately. He's got bags of energy. He gives it all he tries, but you've got to have bottle, you've got to have tenacity, and you've also got to have the right judgment in the right times, which we haven't been seeing lately. But last season, no denying, he was absolutely brilliant for us for a youngster. So young. He is still so young. So I think it would be an absolute waste if we just let him go. If we sold him or whatever, I think it would be a mistake. So I think one day this guy is going to be a top quality player. He's young. I think he's hungry. I think he would have been frustrated, of course, with what's happened lately with being dropped out the side. But that's due to his own doing, really, and his own performances. You've got to perform if you're in the team. So I think he's still got a future, but some of you may say sell, but I would absolutely keep Alejandro Garnacho at the football club. Tom Heaton, well, we need to sign a goalkeeper. We need to sign another number one. I've got no issues with Tom Heaton, but it's a sell from me. What's the point? What is the point, mate? He's not going to play. He's just a backup third choice goalkeeper at this point. Mrs. P, I'm trying to film something in here, darling. Rasmus Højlund, guys. Let's move on to Rasmus Højlund. Absolutely keep from me. It's not like he's been sensational. He's got a decent goal strike record, not great. He's 21. He's come into a shit underperforming team, which is very much not really a great basis to build from when you're a youngster coming in, and he's been given one of the main roles to try and score goals in the team. It's not been easy. The service has been poor. I see glimpses and moments of great talent from him. He scored some lovely goals. He is a scorer of nice goals. He's not prolific. He hasn't scored a lot of goals, but he's a scorer of nice goals. I think he's got good ability in terms of physicality, athleticism, speed, all that sort of stuff. He's 21. Let's give him a chance. He did cost a lot of money. He is one of those, Eric Ten Hag agency friends and everything, but let's give him a chance, I think. Obviously, in the future, he may well be a top player. I think right now, still, in January, we need to dip in and try and sign a striker like Gyökeres, someone like that, to try and get some goals within this team, because he's not ready, mate. He's not there now. He's not ready to do the job. He needs to develop and get better. So I'm expecting that to happen over the next couple of years, but he's not ready now, but I certainly would keep him. Victor Lindelof, one for the summer to get rid of, in my opinion. He's an IKEA flat pack furniture melter. Goodness me, Swedish meatball of a melt, this guy at the back. He's really been quite suspect as a United player over the years. He's had his moments, he's had some good times, but overall, let's be real, gesh. So Victor Lindelof, see you later on in the summer. He's always an injury-prone melter as well. We've got lots of injury-prone melters. Let me just go on to the next injury-prone melter, actually. Luke Shaw, a.k.a. the Fray Bentos pie lover extraordinaire. There he is, and he's on big money for what he is. He doesn't play. He's always out injured. His injury record at the club is as long as my arm. It's so long. He's had so many times and spells out injured, and he's out injured at the moment. He's just an injury-prone melt. Good luck selling the guy, because who's going to want to go and purchase an injury-prone melt for big money? Nobody. He's struggling to find him a new club as a free transfer, to be fair, because he's so damn injury-prone and because of his wage demands. So that's a problem for us, just to be able to ship on somebody like that. Luke Shaw, a fit, available Luke Shaw, is a very good player. Is a good player. Is a good, solid player. He's done it for England. He's done it for United over the years. He's been a good, solid player. But injuries have hampered his development. Injuries have hampered his confidence. You've seen it with Phil Jones. It's hard to come back from those amounts of spells out of the side all the time. Look, there's no point sticking with Luke, I don't think. Even though in this team, with this setup with Amorim, he could potentially be good on that left wing spot if he was fit and ready and available all the time. I think he could do bits, and also he's versatile to the point where he can play at the left centre back spot as well in a back three. We've seen him do that, so I think he's versatile. But I would absolutely sell him, guys. The Butcher Martinez. Oh man, I like the Butcher. I've liked the Butcher for a while, but his sausages have been reeking up the gaff lately. It's maybe time that we moved him to a different position in the team. There you go. He's too short, in my opinion, for a centre-back. We've gone over this, but he's only, 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", whatever he is. It's too short. He's not Baresi. There's only so many that can do it with the lack of height and attributes that comes with that. Defenders are 6'3", 6'4", 6'2", whatever. That's sort of generally what is the size of a centre back is the accepted size of a centre back. You don't have to be, of course, if you're good enough and you make up for it in other ways. But I don't think he makes up for it in other ways, in enough ways. If you look at his aerial ability, challenging for balls, look at that game against Newcastle yesterday. A couple of times he's been found out there with his lack of aerial ability there, going up for the challengers, and I think that's just down to the fact that he is a little bloke. He's a little bloke. We got Warwick Davis playing for us at the back, for Pete's sake. So, if in my opinion, I would keep him actually, but I would move him potentially to a backup squad rotation role, utility player. Yes, he can come in and play centre-back, left-sided centre-back sometimes, as and when you need. He's good on the ball. Maybe he can play like a Gattuso role as a little terrier in a defensive midfield role sometimes when Ugarte's not fit and available. I think that could work. I would go with that rather than just chuck him away right now. He's shown good battle and good bottle. He's a decent sort of a character. He's certainly better in terms of giving it some than a lot of the players we've got, and he's a bit nasty, and I like that. So the Butcher Martinez I would keep at this stage, but it's it's getting a little bit sus. He's a little bit sus. I think we've got to give more chances to Yoro, Delict, and these guys obviously coming up. Harry Maguire has been brilliant for us lately, not yesterday or the game before, but he's actually been pretty good for us. Last season he was good. This season he's been decent. He's always professional and gives it his all. He wasn't a good captain for us, but since he had the armband removed from him, I think the pressure's been relieved to some degree, and Maguire is decent. I mean, would I keep him? Definitely not, mate. Sell him. 100% see you later on. Slabbo. You can't keep Slabbo Maguire around. Anyway, his contract's coming up soon, and you've just got to try and move him on. He's on big money as well. I think 180k a week at the club. We tried to sell him last summer. He didn't want to go to West Ham. To be fair to him, he's got his big slab down, and he's been professional and given it his all since. And, he's really won me over in a lot of ways, Harry Maguire. Dealt with a lot of stick, super professional, and worked hard and always sort of performed to a degree when he's been called upon. So fair play to Harry Maguire, but yeah, the time has come now for him to go. Kobbie Mainoo has a great future, definitely keep for me. That's an easy one. I think he's developing well. Obviously, you can't expect him to have a stunning performance every single game out there, but goodness me, he was great in the Euros for England as a youngster as well, and so young still, so much time to develop, and I think he's very good going forward, box to box as well as getting stuck in defending. He's a good sort of mobile box to box midfielder, so I really do like him, and I think he's got a good future, so easy one for me. Tyrone Malacia, well, I'm going to say sell as well, to be honest, guys. I know he's out for a year. You could argue we've not even really seen much of Tyrone Malacia yet to be able to judge him. He's almost like a new signing because he was out injured for so long. But long term, has he got the chops to be a top tier Premier League left wing back or left back for us? I don't really think so, guys. I don't personally think so. I think he's another one of those Ten Hag signings from the Eredivisie, which is good for the Dutch league, but it gets a little bit found out in the Premier League. I don't know. Maybe he would develop and turn into a very good player. Maybe he won't go anywhere. End of the day, I've just said sell Luke Shaw and Malacia. So it means we have to go and get some sort of a left back, left wing back, somebody to replace, couple of players to replace, doesn't it? So yeah, so it's unlikely that we're going to get rid of both of those guys in the summer. Probably keep Malacia out the two because he's younger and has potential, but they're both kind of injury prone and they both haven't blown me away. So we've got a problem at left back, no doubt. Mazroui's been a breath of fresh air, probably the best signing you could argue that Erik ten Hag made. Certainly in his last spell there in the summer just gone, he did bring in Mazroui. Mazroui, excellent, industrious player, versatile. You can basically play him anywhere really. He can play in the defence in terms of like a right-sided centre back or in the back line there. He can play right wing back, left wing back. You can even bang him in the midfield. So I think Mazroui's an excellent addition to the squad. Plus he plays with a bit of bottle and tenacity. Excellent signing. So that was a good signing. A rare one from Erik ten Hag, but I think he will have a good future at the football club. Very happy with Mazroui. Mason Mount, get him out of my side and take that number 7 shirt off him immediately. What was ten Hag thinking, spunking 50 mil on this guy? He's absolutely bang average. Maybe in this Ruben Amorim system he could actually do well. Ruben Amorim said himself, so we could give him some chances until the end of the season. He has looked a bit better since Amorim's come in this system, but again, he's out injured for a long time. He's an injury-prone melt. He's another one of these injury-prone melts that we just need to try and get away from, really. We need robust performers who are consistently fit and available. We don't want another Eric Bailly, another Luke Shaw, another player like that who's just constantly out injured, and this is what this guy's going to be. Well, we've already got him now and we're stuck with him, so great. But we need robustness. To be fair to people like Harry Maguire, how many times has he been out injured over the years? Not very many, a couple here and there, but man, he's robust and he's fit and available more often than not. Can't say the same about mugs like Mason Mount, lad. Shocking. Marcus Rashford. Oh my goodness me. It's an easy one. Sell this melter big time. Get him gone immediately. He's so expensive. We pay 375k to this guy. We don't get any return on that investment. It's ridiculous. We've basically developed him for years since he was a little kid. He's shown glimpses and qualities in certain seasons, a couple of seasons ago, banging 30 goals. But that doesn't mean you could just stay at United for the rest of your career and not perform and not achieve. You've got to hold yourself to a certain standard. Ruben Amorim's dropped him out the side for a reason, because he's been suspect, whether it's in training, whether it's in attitude, the performances. Yes, he might have the goals, he might have more goals than anybody in this squad. That's not saying much. This squad's awful right now. But he encompasses what's wrong with the club. He's a bit of an ego. He's not really giving it his all. He's not tracking back, working as hard as he possibly could in every game. You look at like the body language and the tenacity of him compared to like Ahmad Diallo, and it's night and day. We need to start seeing players busting their guts out there for the football club. Rashford doesn't do that. He's got qualities, he's got abilities, he's got talents, he scores goals, but that's not enough. You need to carry yourself better at this football club, and you need to have the right attitude, and his attitude is not good. He's caused problems for all the previous managers in that sense as well, and Amorim, fair to him, is the man that's come in and had enough and is trying to make that change and has taken him out of the squad. But he doesn't really have a place for me in the team anymore because, well, he doesn't put in what he's worth, what we pay him. He's not worth what we pay him. And if you want to try and get somebody who is worth what we pay him, we need somebody else because he's not worth what we pay him, guys. He's taken up a big chunk of change. Can we sell him in January? He would be the player, the number one player I'd be looking to get rid of. He said as much that he wants a new challenge. Amorim's not played him. He's kind of just like ruffling feathers within the dressing room right now and causing issues because of the fact that he said he wants a new challenge. He wants away, and he's a big ego within that dressing room. So we need to get rid of him immediately. The question is how and to who to and for how much for, because I don't think we can get 60, 70 million quid for him right now. Maybe 50 if we're lucky, probably more likely 40 or something. Who's going to want him? Will it be a Premier League team, a lower Premier League team? Would he go to a lower Premier League team? Would Leicester City and Ruud van Nistelrooy want him? Or a Saudi Arabian team? Would he even want to go to Saudi Arabia? PSG maybe. They've been interested in the past. Would they be interested now? There's so many questions. Can you even get rid of him? Will it be on a loan move situation, a la Sancho? A player that you can't sell right now because his wages are astronomical and the amount of money you'd want in terms of a fee is just prices him out of a move. Or, you know, can it be a transfer? There's so many questions about this, guys. I don't know if it's realistic that we sell him in January. I hope we do, because I think Amorim needs help. He needs to be able to shape the squad how he sees fit now. We've got a project under Amorim. He needs to sign the players he needs. And because of Erik ten Hag spending so lavishly over the last few seasons, the coffers are not full in terms of transfer fees. We have to sign players who are either not very expensive or that are financed by player sales. So we've kind of got to sell players in January if we want to sign some players in January. I'm thinking Marcus Rashford would be an excellent player to sell off and bring in some much needed transfer revenue to be able to then go and spend and strengthen the squad elsewhere. Manuel Ugarte is an absolute keeper from me. He's looked good lately. He's looked good this season. Obviously, a little bit of an early rough start, I guess you could say, in the team in the Premier League. He's looked solid lately. I think he's a hard worker. If you look at his stats in terms of passing completion and tackles won and things like that within the Premier League, he's in the top 10% for most things in terms of central defensive midfielders. So he's doing well. Respect to Ugarte. It's too early really to judge long term, but I like his tenacity. He's also a bit nasty, which I like as well. So let's just give him a nice bit of time to flourish. He's a keeper for me. Lenny Yoro is absolutely a keeper as well. No point really judging him because obviously he's only just come in. He's only really got back from fitness. He was injured the moment we signed him pretty much. And he's just sort of come into the side. He's looking decent. He's raw. He's young. He's only 18. He's got so much time to develop and do bits. 18, 19, whatever he is. He's got time to develop and do bits here at the football club. He's got a lot of good physical attributes. He's tall. He's rangy. He's quick, strong for a young lad. So I think he's got a good future. Let's not judge him too soon. Absolutely keep from me. And then finally, Joshua Zirkzee. I'll see you later on, son. One of the lingering players left over from Erik ten Hag's mess. Some of them are decent, as we've established. You know, there's a couple there that we would absolutely keep from Erik ten Hag's signings. Good few of them, to be fair. But most of them, even though they've only been here for a short term, are not up to the standard. And I personally think Joshua Zirkzee probably isn't good enough already. Might be harsh, maybe too soon to judge him. He's done okay previously at different clubs, and he's all right in the build-up and in terms of like creativity. But is he a clinical goal scorer? Absolutely not. He hasn't shown anything like that at United so far. There was that one game that he came on and scored a brace, wasn't it, and did quite well. But other than that, like he's just had a few fleeting moments here and there. Very disappointing. He got ripped off the pitch by Amorim yesterday after 33 minutes. Amorim saying he just needed to get another midfielder on. But it's also, you're only going to do that if Zirkzee's being completely headless chicken worthy and not being effective whatsoever. So he took him off in the 33 minutes. Difficult for the lad. but it's what's needed for the team. I don't think he gives us enough for the team. He kind of saunters around out there. He's very slow. He looks slow anyway. I mean, I thought he was supposed to have a bit of pace about him, but he saunters around looking a bit slow out there and just like a little bit off the pace of the game. So I don't think he's got much of a future at the club. Even though we've only just signed him for decent sized money, I would try and move him on. So there we are, guys. That is my sort of list of players. I don't think I missed anybody key there. Maybe I have, but I would keep all those players there, which is, it's enough for a starting 11, isn't it? But what about the squad? And I get rid of those players there, which is, it's just over half of these players I would get rid of. I would keep just over half, just under half, and sell just over half. Isn't that sad? After we spent 600 million under Erik ten Hag. And look at the players that we get rid of that were signed by Erik ten Hag as well. Anthony Dos Santos, Onana, Casemiro, Eriksson, Johnny Evans, who else is there? Malacia, Mount, and Xerxes. I mean, that's a waste of money, isn't it? Erik ten Hag stitched us right up the Dutch Kojak, Dr. Robotnik, Eggman Melt. Real bad. He really did stitch us up there, guys, with his bad judgment. I guess he was trying to play a certain way. It never worked. And now we've been left with players that he bought for a certain particular system and that don't fit our current system. Either they don't fit our current system or they're just not good enough. So we have been stitched up royally by Erik ten Hag. Thanks very much for that, Eric. Look, all the best to Ruben Amorim. I hope he does get his January signings that he desperately needs. We need to try and get a bunch of these players out. I'm thinking this long term, obviously, for the summer and for the future. I'm not saying in January. We're not going to sell 10 players in January or whatever it is. We're only going to be able to get rid of one or two, I think, realistically. Maybe Casemiro, maybe Rashford, maybe Cassie to Saudi, maybe Rashford, I don't know, to PSG or something. I'd like to see us try and get a goalkeeper in January and a striker, Gyökeres or someone like that, to get us some goals. Maybe other positions in the team could be strengthened as well, but I think the most primary positions to strengthen would be the goalkeeper, to try and plug all those error-prone goals that we're conceding from Andre Onana, and the striker position, because as much as I like Rasmus, he's not ready-made, not clinical enough just yet, and he's got to develop. Xerxes is definitely not going to bag you 20 goals a season. We need somebody who can. So I'll definitely address that issue. Anyway, that is the video there, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have your say in the comment section. You can comment down below, as I say, with players you would keep and players you would sell. Let us know. And if you're undecided on any players, you can maybe put them in a different section that says undecided. But thank you all for watching this little video here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Get your thoughts and opinions in. That's my honest take on it. Basically, over half of the team I would sell. That is terrible. What a sad indictment of what we're doing right now. But we are a relegation fodder team ultimately, so it stands to reason. If we're down in 14th place, -5 goal difference going into the new year, I think we've got to look at a lot of the players in the team and a lot of players that have been here for years, but also some of the new signings, and say they're just not good enough. And we have to give Amorim what he needs to try and do his job and play his style, and he needs players that can fit into his system, and he's just using Erik ten Hag and the previous sort of regime's players at the moment and having to make do. That's not good enough. So hopefully he gets backed in Jan. Hopefully we can sell Rashford and Cassie, or one or two, and bring one or two in, and then in the summer we do need a monstrous clear out. You've been watching the Flying Pig on Flying Pig United. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Smash that like button on it before you go. Hit the thumbs up. Get your comments down below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're on our way to 90,000 subscribers. Get yourself subscribed if you're new to the show. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. And you have yourself a bloody good one. Thanks for watching. This is the Pig. I'm out. What the hell was that? Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/flyingpigunited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/flyingpigunited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.